It sounds like somebody was banging on the side of my house. I don't know. Oh, could y'all come and see?
I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. I rebuke you in the name of Jesus.
Better not. I swear to God, I'll shoot you right in your face.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Drop the fuck. Drop.
In the quiet darkness of a Springfield night on July 6, 2023, a routine call for help turned into an unimaginable tragedy. This is the story of Sonya Massey, a 36-year-old black woman, whose desperate call for safety ended in a fatal encounter with law enforcement. Sonya Massey dialed 911, fearing a prowler at her home. She hoped for the safety and reassurance that every caller seeks. What unfolded next would not only shatter her life, but also send shockwaves through a community and a nation.
It sounds like somebody was banging on the side of my house. I don't know. Oh, could y'all come and see?
It was a call filled with urgency, a cry for help from a place she once considered safe. Sonya's voice, tense with fear, echoed through the emergency lines, setting in motion a chain of events that no one could have anticipated. Two Sangamon County Sheriff's deputies, Sean Grayson and his partner, responded swiftly. But little did they know that the simple nature of a domestic disturbance had spiraled into a confrontation no one wanted. Inside the home, Sonya was in her kitchen, managing a pot of boiling water, a mundane act that symbolized her normal life. The deputies entered, cameras recording every moment as they tried to assess the situation. They spoke calmly, attempting to de-escalate what they thought might be a simple misunderstanding. In the footage, the deputies calmly instruct her, "Away from your hot steaming water," and other similar directives.
Away from your hot steaming water.
Away from my hot steaming water?
Yeah.
It soon became clear that these were not moments of criminal intent, but a tragic miscommunication under extreme stress. A charged exchange escalated. Sonya, frightened and possibly confused, mentioned rebuking the deputies. Deputy Grayson's words cut through the tension with an explosive threat, transforming a routine check into a life-threatening situation.
I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. I rebuke you in the name of Jesus.
Better not. I swear to God, I'll shoot you right in your face.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Drop the fuck. Drop.
19 shots fired.
Shots fired. Shots.
The tension rose sharply. Sonya, responding in shock and fear, reached for the boiling pot. The deputies shouted for her to drop it. In those critical seconds, the unthinkable happened. 3 shots rang out.
19 shots fired.
Shots fired.
The raw body camera footage captured every anguished moment, the desperate attempt to defuse a situation, the final irrevocable act of violence, and the silence that followed. Sonya Massey, in seeking safety, met a fate that questions the very system designed to protect her.
Say her name. Sonya Massey, say her name.
The immediate aftermath was filled with disbelief, grief, and anger. Deputy Sean Grayson, now indicted on charges of first-degree murder, became a focal point for a broader conversation on police accountability, use of force policies, and systemic racism.
For what? For being a black woman in America.
Civil rights attorney Ben Crump represented Sonya's family, linking her death to a pattern of tragic encounters between black women and law enforcement. He spoke passionately at press conferences, urging for justice and systemic reform.
She was dealing with some issues. She needed a helping hand. She didn't need a bullet to the face.
The community's outpouring of grief materialized in marches, candlelight vigils, and calls for change. Actions that resonated with a wider national movement. Grayson's indictment wasn't an isolated incident. He faced charges not only for murder, but also for aggravated battery with a firearm and official misconduct. A use of force expert questioned the justification behind the shooting, criticizing the deputies' tactics and the rapid escalation to deadly force. Experts and officials alike pointed out that alternative tactics, such as de-escalation, retreat, or the use of non-lethal measures, were possible. Yet the tragic scene unfolded without such attempts, highlighting systemic issues within policing practices. James Wilburn, Sonya's father, grappled not only with the loss of his daughter, but also with the confusion and betrayal of a system that failed to protect her. His heartbreak was palpable as he shared memories of a loving daughter, caught in an unthinkable tragedy.
She no longer had the pot in her hand when he shot her, and she held up her hands to protect her. After he told her, "I will shoot you in the effing face." Once he shot her and he turned his body camera on, and he called my baby such a derogatory name. I haven't gotten to that. I can't get any further for having this madman and giving him a badge and a gun in order to kill my baby with it. If they had not done that, if those police chiefs in those other municipalities, if that sheriff in the other municipality who hired him, if the sheriff in Sangamon County had not hired him, my baby would still be alive today.
The collective grief of the community transcended mourning. It became a catalyst for demanding accountability. As people from all walks of life gathered, their unified voices echoed a shared demand: justice for Sonya Massey and systemic change to prevent future tragedies. Sonya Massey's story is not isolated. It reverberates through a series of high-profile cases where trust between law enforcement and Black communities was shattered. These cases serve as painful reminders of deep-rooted issues: racial bias, inadequate training, and a lack of accountability that continue to plague policing in America. From Breonna Taylor to Tatiana Jefferson, and now Sonya Massey, each tragedy not only marks a personal loss, but also sparks a national conversation on how to rebuild trust, implement reforms, and ensure that every call for help is met with empathy and safety. In response to these tragedies, communities and lawmakers are coming together to push for real change. The call for reforms, such as improved de-escalation training, transparent accountability processes, and legislative change.
And we're going to make sure that Sonya Massey's death was not in vain. Summer, we promise you we're going to make sure your mother's death was not in vain. Malachi, her death would not be in vain. We're going to make sure that Sonya Massey's name is known and that nobody can sweep it under the rug. We won't be satisfied until we get whole justice for Sonya Massey. Not partial justice, not 3/5 justice, but whole justice.
Activists, families, and concerned citizens echo a resounding demand: a justice system that values every life, that listens, learns, and evolves. While the journey towards systemic change is long and complex, each story shared, each conversation sparked, paves the way for a future where such tragedies are fewer and far between. Sonya Massey's life ended tragically, a life that deserved safety, respect, and dignity. Her story stands as a poignant reminder of the urgent need for empathy, accountability, and reform. As her community mourns, they also choose to stand together, advocating for change, justice, and a more compassionate future. In remembering Sonya, we acknowledge the pain of this moment and the collective resolve to build a system where every call for help is answered with care, not force. Thank you for watching. If this documentary resonated with you, please like, subscribe, and share. Spread awareness and join the conversation rooted in empathy, accountability, and justice. Together, we can honor Sonya Massey's memory by working towards meaningful change.